ball is about to drop, so I need this from the top. Happy New Year! Run. You don't like what the Knicks doing, so what? Your hard D that's paying off. Run. Look how the squad they play together. Run. You see the total opponent scored. Run. You don't know this is a new team. That new squad. I'm in the mosque with a dream team. Real low. Even if I ain't told you. I ain't told you. I'm better known as the closer. How many games don't matter, tell them we on the run. At the crib on the road, this I am one. I'm CT with the flow, that mean the Knicks buzzing. A little bit more motion, backdoor cutting. They ain't feeling what we doing, so I'ma spaz on them. I'm like Mitch on the board, I clean the glass on them. I can look at the sheet and see the player hate. I told Ghost I'm different with the player rate. If you ain't playing with our style and what Tom chasing, I take the 9 off the barrels before the rotation. Everybody got something to say what Tom doing. All I care about wins and what the run doing. Even if the next game we take a L, this that smell the kids blowing the stairwell. I'm still trying to spin off from street wells, then backslide like Michael Sword and Rockwell. I'm on one, I'm bringing back the blue love. I told Nas my Nick disease and fever buzz. In February I'm dropping with the new year. 3 capital S's, I'm gone here from this year. I'm gone here from this year. So long here to this year. Shout out to all the podcasts that have been working hard in the year 2022. The Knick Fan TV, the Florence Tears. You gotta have for love of the game. NBK, nothing but Knicks. Dope Soul. Can't forget the Legion. Gamble, that's his squad. The streets is buzzing. CT in Australia. Brazil, we out there too. We doing it all in the nick of time. We some diehard Knicks. You feel that sports vibe all day, every day. Ron told us we still Knicks. We ain't falling off. All the way to LA with CK2K. We everywhere. And even if we get a couple of scars, they only nicks and bruises in the morning. Fall up in D's world of hoops. All the way to Chad Sports in Houston. Get it.
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. The Knicks won 2 straight last night at Madison Square Garden. It wasn't even a game. The Knicks put them away early. Let me know how you feel about this game, Knick family. They were without Devin Booker. For some, it's not a quality win. For me, you take them how you can get them. You know, Phoenix limped into this game, I believe, having won 1 out of their last 6. And I think the Knicks limped into this game having won 1 out of their last 5. Right? So both teams had been struggling coming into the game. I got to be honest, I did not have a good feeling about this game coming in. I looked at their starting 5. I'm like, wow, you could probably get something from Chris Paul, Ayton, Mikal Bridges. I'm not sure what we're going to get from the Knicks. You know, Randle was going to show up, but quickly, is he going to continue to play well? What about Grimes? It's his 2nd year. Can't really expect him to be super consistent. Where's the scoring going to come from? I was a little concerned. Even Brunson, you know, even though he was back in this game, you know, was he 100%? What was it going to be like? I was a little concerned, but the Knicks put my concerns to bed within the first, 2 minutes of the game. It was just, in my opinion, a really good victory for the Knicks, even though they were without Devin Booker, and the defense was good. I think if the Knicks didn't play defense the way they did, this could have been a competitive game, and maybe the Knicks would have lost, but the defense definitely showed up last night. We're going to talk about it. Salute to everybody that's in the chat right now, especially Tim Smith. As soon as I logged on to do what I needed to do in the background, he had already posted his comments. I appreciate you. And shout out to Harlem Girl listening in the background, as well as Geraldine McGyver, Wonder Woman, Ajay, Pudge Nice, Sharon. Appreciate you. Jerrell and Stafford Don, resident panelists of Dope Soul Sports Talk, will be back on Thursday evening. Ashley Inc. Wiz from the West Coast. Ashley Inc. 1 from the West Coast. Appreciate you, Wiz. Anthony Grant, Kerry Cox. What is that? Lion of Judah. Is that Lily Phillips? I hope I got that right. White Falcon 44. Parish Duggar, Keith Turner. I appreciate all of you. All right, let me turn this off. I appreciate all of you for showing up this morning. All right, let's get right in to it. Just setting it up. You know, the Knicks came into last night's game 19-18, 8th in the Eastern Conference. Over their last 10, they were 5-5, and they won that one game against Houston. Brunson was back. He started for us along with Quickly, Grimes, Randle, Robinson, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin remains out. Phoenix came into the game 20-17, 7th in the Western Conference, 4-6 over their last over their last 10, having lost 2. They've really been struggling without Devin Booker. They started Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, Mikal Bridges, Tony Craig, DeAndre Ayton, and of course, Devin Booker was out. Let's get into the individual stats for the New York Knicks. Randle, 28 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists. Wasn't his most efficient game, 38.9% field goals, but still, I thought where he took his shots for the entire season has been really on point. It seems like it's just 4 spots, right? He's posting up. He's getting the ball at the foul line. He's either going to take the jumper or he's going to drive to the basket or he's going to shoot a 3-pointer, you know? And when you think about all of the good players in this league, they have their spots. They get to their spots. And you know, as a defender and as a team, where their spots are, you know, they're going to try to get to their spots and there's nothing you can really do about it. And that's what's happening with Julius Randle, right? He has his spots. He's sticking to those spots. He's hitting those spots. So I really like the way his game has developed. And the same thing with Brunson, as we know where his spots are. Everybody else knows where his spots are, and he's able to get to them. Brunson returned last night, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 44.4% from the field. Didn't shoot that well from the line. I think he was 6 for 11, actually, for 54.5%. You know, free throws didn't really come into play in this game because it was a blowout. The Knicks were up by as much as 32 points, but you have to hit the free throws if you're going to close close games, right? Randle shot well from the line last night. He was 10 for 12. He shot 83.3%. Brunson, not so much. I thought he played well in his return. I didn't really see much effects from the injury. He didn't look slow to me, but let me know, how did Brunson look? How did he look to you? I really thought in that fourth quarter when he was already out the game, they threatened a little bit in terms of trying to get back into the game, but I never thought the outcome was in question. And I really would have liked Brunson to just sit out the entire fourth quarter, but here we go. He's coming back into a game where we were up, I don't know, 19, 20, 22 points. But he looked good. I think he missed his first few shots in the first quarter, and then he scored 14 points, 12 or 14 points in that second quarter. He looked good. I think the Knicks are a different team when Brunson plays in. Kudos to Randle for how he's been playing with both Brunson and RJ Barrett out. But you give an opportunity to get one or both of those plays back, you take it. And I'm pretty sure Randle was happy to see him back. Quickly, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 50% from the field, 50% from the 3-point line. Did not go to the free throw line. I like the way Quickly played. Obviously he has less freedom when Brunson is back, right? Because he's playing off the ball a little bit, unless he's staggered in with that second unit. But in my opinion, when Quickly is starting, he's just automatically in check, because Brunson is handling the ball. You got Randle there. You're not coming down taking ill-advised shots, though he's not doing that as much, to be fair. He's not dribbling out the clock. None of that is happening. And in my opinion, I love Quickly off the ball. When somebody else has the ball and he's spotted up behind that 3-point line and they pass the ball to him in my opinion, he hits it every time. He missed one last night. I was like, wow, and I don't think his catch and shoot numbers are that great. However, to me, they just look great. Just looks like it's going down every single time. So, he started last night because Barrett was out. Again, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I believe he had one turnover, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, one turnover. Brunson had one turnover. Randle had one turnover. Grimes, who I'm loving. I am loving Grimes. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 55.6% from the field. Also, one turnover, two for 6 from the 3-point line. What I like about Grimes is even when he doesn't have the counting stats, similar to Mitch, even when he doesn't have the counting stats, what he does for us on the defensive end, those intangibles, it's just apparent. I think, in my opinion, his ceiling has increased a little bit because now he's attacking the closeouts, right? And when he's attacking the closeouts, he can shoot it. But more often than not, he sees somebody, right? Because teams rotate over, right? You know how to play basketball, you're going to rotate over. And not only does he see the open man, he's able to execute and deliver the pass. I just love the way he's playing. And, when you watch him play, it just reminds you that basketball is simple. Like, it's not hard. If you give me the open 3, I'm going to take it. If not, I'm going to dribble. You rotate over, I'm going to pass it to the open guy. Like, it's just simple. When you watch him play, he's just fundamentally sound. Nothing complicated about his game. And he's our best, perimeter defender, particularly on the point of attack. I mean, arguably, you could argue Quickly as well. I love the way Quickly plays defense also in the ground that Quickly covers when he'll stop a drive and then, cover a lot of ground to contest a shot. So those two guys, as far as our defense is concerned, is pivotal. And, Mitch as well. Talking about Mitch, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 blocks, no turnover. I thought Ayton got off to a hot, if you want, start in terms of just hitting his first, few shots. But he didn't come in the paint with those shots. They were fadeaways, and Mitch basically played him to a standstill. Ayton had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, and Mitch, again, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 0 turnovers. And of course, what Mitch does, for us on the defensive end. And when you think about it, you got RJ, when healthy, Randle, Brunson in that starting lineup. These are all guys who need the ball in their hand to be effective. It's just good to have 2 players in your lineup who don't need the ball. Grimes and Mitch don't need the ball, to be effective. However, I don't know if you've noticed the last 2 games, Mitch has been getting the ball, in the post, posting in the key with the left-handed scoop, So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Mitch. It's just, for me, offensively, it's just been a slow roll with Mitch, just a slow roll in terms of the improvement of his game. But what he does well, he does very well. All right. The bench, the bench was outscored 40-13. iHeart 12 minutes, McBride back down to 18 minutes, which I think is about where it needs to be. Fournier played 14 minutes. Sims played 9 minutes. A lot of times with young guys, you increase the minutes and it's diminishing returns. It's not like, they playing so well in these limited minutes. Let's give them more. They're going to play even better. Sometimes that happens, but a lot of times you get diminishing returns. McBride with 3 points, iHeart with 3 points, Fournier with 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 3-pointer. He made the most of his 14 minutes. And Sims in 9 minutes, 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. There was a time in that second unit, it was McBride, IQ, Fournier, Sims, and iHeart, and I was like, "Wow!" Like we're back to having a semblance of a second unit, even though Quickly was running with, with that second unit and started in the game. And I thought the ball movement was really good, with that second unit. I think iHeart got the pass in the key. He hit Sims off, who laid it off, and I was like, "Wow!" I do think, I agree that iHeart has not been playing well, but he does have a skill set that I think we can take a little better advantage of. And we saw a little bit of it, last night. That being said, I think when RJ Barrett returns, Fournier goes to the bench. I think when Obi returns, Sims returns to the bench. For Phoenix, we talked about Aiden Paul. Paul looked like a shell of himself. I don't know if he's injured. I don't know if his age or if he's just at a point in his career where he needs that other guy. He's the facilitator. He's the leader on the court in terms of when the shot should be taken, who should take the shots, but, and to play off of guys. But in terms of, filling in when somebody is injured like Booker, I think that part of his career may be over. I'm not sure. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 36.4% from the field. Bridges, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 36.4% from the field. Grimes played him a lot. Grimes gives up inches, a lot of times. Even though Grimes plays the small forward position, Tibbs will have him on the best offensive player, perimeter player on the opposing team, and that could be a small forward. He gave up inches to Bridges, who plays pretty much the same role as Grimes. He had a block shot on one of that play. And if you saw on one of Bridges' shots, and you saw how he just tracked him across the lane and just stayed with him on the drive, stayed between him and the black basket. And when he put the ball up, blocked the shot. I can't say enough about Grimes. I think in another year or two, he's going to be a phenomenal player. Lee, 10 points, yada, yada, yada. The Knicks shot 48.6% from the field, 39.4% from three. Again, only 68% from the free throw line. We have to be better. And Phoenix shot just 39% from the field, 27% from three, 71.4% from free throw line. They only went to the line 7 times, so the Knicks weren't fouling, and they probably wasn't driving that much either. Sometimes when a team shoots poorly, you have to ask yourself how much of it was them just missing shots and how much of it was the defense. I think a good part of it was the Knicks defense. They were more active. I thought they were more on a string in terms of covering for each other, rotating over quickly. No pun intended. I just really liked what I saw from the Knicks defensively. All right, let me check in with the chat. I'll get back to that. Rose Dunn, they said that he had some sort of injury. I forgot exactly what it was in the Houston game, and that was the reason why he sat out. Leighton Griffith, I hope I got that right. Why they playing better? Is IQ playing better? And when RJ come back, we can be dangerous. Yeah, I mean, I think we played better last night. Remember the last game, we played Houston. Prior to that, we lost to San Antonio. But I agree with you. Quickly continues to play the way he's been playing, and you get RJ back, and RJ, starts back where he left off. I kind of like the Knicks. All right. Actually, Mitch attempted between the legs under the foot dribble was epic. Yeah, he looked a little wobbly, doing it, but I guess he wanted us to know he got a little something in the tank. Trade Fournier to the Raptors for Gary Trent. The only thing, I like Gary Trent. He's another undersized guard, right? So we have to keep that in mind. He's going to be playing at the 2. He's not a point guard. He's a bit, undersized. I would like the Knicks to go for a small forward. a small forward that's at least 6'6". You can be undersized, but be able to defend your position. Fournier is not in the rotation now, so you're going to bring Gary Trent who is going to be in the rotation, and he's going to command minutes. Gary Trent is a good player, so if you got Brunson and Grimes starting, now you got IQ and Gary Trent. I guess you could play IQ behind Brunson, but how many minutes is that? You could play Gary Trent behind Grimes. They can split minutes there, but I just think it's gonna create a logjam there. Appreciate you, Pudge Nice. No Queen CP look like that because of the defense. You might be right. I mean, you be right. You might be right. Sharon Ihart is best used when he plays the 4. He is overpowered when he is at the 5. Yeah, I mean that's just a defensive assignment. He's usually out there with Sims. Have Sims play the 5. Have him play the 4. Offensively, I don't think is much. Is much difference. Pudge Nice is bringing in Tobias as small forward. Trent is a really um undersized small forward, and Tobias, I guess he could play the small forward. Shout out to Jay Boogie. I played his song in the intro called Run. Blessings, health, happiness, happy 23 to the greatest people in the league. Queen, thank you for bringing us Dope Soul and 22. Win no matter what. This not the NCAA when you get in on quality of win. Where you get in on quality of wins. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just win, baby. Just win. All right. IQ is a legit 6-man and shooting guard point guard. I like the freedom IQ plays with guard first. Appreciate you. Sherwin says Devin Booker, Jalen Brown, Shai Gilgeous, Alexander are my targets. I see who can put the Knicks on another level. I mean, if the Knicks, I'm not going to argue with you there. If the Knicks can get any of those players, I'll be happy. Knicks family, just keep in mind for those level of players, you have to give to get. No doubt about it. All right. Keith Turner, my only issue with Grimes is his health, and he settles for way too many threes to my liking. Would like to see him attack the basket more. I hear that. I think we'll see. I mean, he's been relatively healthy so far. Actually, Sharon, I wouldn't make any big moves right now. So the most logical move is to move Cam and D Rose to get an available 3 and D, which to me is cool. Why not make a big move? I mean, I just don't think there's any big moves available. But if a big move becomes available for the likes of a Booker, which I doubt will happen, I'm just saying, for the likes of a Shai Gilgeous Alexander, for the likes of, I forgot a Jalen Brown, which I don't think would happen unless the Knicks were to sign him in free agency. If something like that was to become available, why wouldn't you make that move right now? I mean, I don't see the reason. Help me understand that, Wiz. Why wouldn't you make that move right now if it were to become available? All right, we talked about the other players. How you guys feeling about McBride's minutes going back down to 18? I like it. I think 32, 37 was a bit too much for him. Obviously, he was pressed into duty, and you do whatever you can do to help your team. But 18 minutes for me is about fine. What about Sims? Sims has been playing like 8 to 10 minutes a game. What's your thoughts on that? All right. Team stats. There was hardly any fast breaking in this game, right? The Knicks had 2 fast break points. Phoenix didn't have any. I think the Knicks, for the most part, dominated Phoenix statistically. They shot better than they did, except from the free throw line. Points in the paint. They had 17 second chance points. The Knicks weren't very good in second chance points to start the season. They cleaned it up a lot during the 8-game winning streak, but there's been some slippage in terms of second chance points. So, hopefully they'll get that back together. And just in general, I mean, it's not really much to talk about, in this game. Like I say here, the Knicks put them away, very early. The largest lead the Knicks had was 32 points. The largest lead Phoenix had was 4, and that was like in the first 2 minutes of the game. Like the Knicks just ran away with it, went on a 21-0 run, and just put the game away. The Knicks were outscored in the third and fourth quarter by 2 points. Obviously teams, when they're down big, they're going to try to make their runs, and they did. They cut it down to as much as 19 at one point. But kudos to the Knicks. They did not fold. Somebody was just similar to what San Antonio did, right? Every time we tried to get back, in the game, they would hit a shot or two, to push the lead back up. And that's exactly what the Knicks did as well. They would get it to, the highest lead was 32. They would get it to 24. They would get it to 20. They got it to 19. And the Knicks would just score. Phoenix there wasn't anything they could do with the Knicks on the defensive end to stop them from scoring. Since Grimes and Mitch have started, in that lineup, the Knicks defense has been significantly better. Remember, Mitch was out for a stretch with injuries, right? When he came back, a game before he came back, Grimes was inserted in the starting lineup. Mitch came back 1 game later, and I think it's been 21 straight games that they've been 20 or 21 straight games they've been playing together. And the defense, except for some games in which the Knicks lapse a bit, overall, the defense has been night and day. Remember, at one point in the season, the Knicks had the 24th ranked defense, right? And I think right now we're 8th. We're top 10 defense. And everybody plays their part, don't get me wrong, but Mitch and Grimes and Quickly as well. And McBride, when he's in the game, does a really good job for us. We talked about the second unit, how they suffered due to the injuries, right? Now you got to start, IQ as well. But that starting unit I mentioned earlier is a starting unit I'd like to see more. I know guys don't want to see Fournier play at all, but I think our second unit, it's not that great. When RJ Barrett comes back, when Obi comes back, hopefully it'll be better. But I liked, McBride, IQ, Fournier. That gives you some shooting with IQ and Fournier. Sims gives you the defense and the rebounding. And I know a lot of, fans don't like him. I don't think he's playing well, either his ability to play make, right? So when you have a second team and they're actually moving the ball, you'll get a chance to see more of what iHeart can give you offensively. But like I said earlier, I think when Barrett returns, Fournier goes to the bench. And I think when Obi returns, Sims will be out of the rotation. I know there's been some trade rumors with Obi and some speculation that he was only supposed to be out like 2 weeks. And, it's longer basically because they don't want him to return to the game and get injured because they're looking to trade him. Who knows? Who knows? If they do decide to trade Obi, I really, really hope they bring back a power forward who can defend and rebound the ball. I said, just be able to defend and rebound the ball. If you can hit a shot, that would be great, especially if it's a 3. It's really hard to find 3-and-D power forwards now. But if they can get that, that would be great. If they can bring back a small forward, that would be great. But keep in mind, there's not a lot of minutes behind RJ Barrett. There's not a lot of minutes behind Julius Randle. If you can bring back somebody who could play both the 3 and 4 position and play behind both of those guys, that would be ideal as well. All right. The Knicks right now are 8th in the Eastern Conference at 20-18. And I mentioned this, a few streams ago, a few shows ago, 6 through 12, that's going to be rotating throughout the season. You know, the Knicks went on a 5-game winning streak, and I think they had like a 2 or 3 point lead in the conference. Then you lose 5 straight. Now you go back down. Like, this is the way it is. You know, at one time it was Washington and Chicago that was out of the playoff and play-in picture. Now it's Chicago and Toronto. Washington is back in after having won 5 straight, right? So you get on a good winning streak in this Eastern Conference, you can run up the standings or go up the standings, right? So Washington went from, I don't know, they were 11th or 12th to now 10. So I think the top 5, Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Philadelphia, unless there's some injuries, I think those teams are going to remain in the top 5. But 6 through 12, anybody, anybody. I like the Knicks. I like that core of Brunson, Randle, and RJ, but I think they need more help. I think there's a drop off after that. You got Quickly, you got Grimes, and then there's a big drop off after Quickly and Grimes. I just don't think you can expect Sims and McBride to show up for you every single night. They're not those type of players at this point in their career. And even Grimes, this is just his second year. He's in the starting lineup. How much consistency can you expect from a second-year player? You know what I mean? So you might be able to finish 6, but in the playoffs, it's going to be hard to win a playoff series when you don't have, other than those top 3, you don't have a lot coming behind them. So we shall see. Our next game is versus San Antonio at Madison Square Garden Wednesday night. If you remember, the Knicks lost to San Antonio last week, actually, at San Antonio. And this was the game after they played Dallas. They seemed a little out of it to start the game, and they couldn't do anything with those young players. In the fourth quarter, the Knicks, multiple times tried to get back into the game. They would always answer, which doesn't usually happen with a young team, right? It's hard for them to hold on to leads. They may fold down the stretch, but San Antonio didn't. I anticipate that New York Knicks will blow San Antonio out the water, period, point blank. Period, point blank. You're playing at Madison Square Garden. You've won 2 straight. Brunson is back. This should not be a game. If this is a game, when I do the post game, the recap show Thursday morning, I'm coming in hot, right? This should not be much of a game. Right now, the Knicks are 20-18, 8th in the Eastern Conference. Again, 5-5 over their last 10. They won 2. They're 11th in offensive rating, 8th in defensive rating, right? San Antonio, 3-7 over their last 10. They lost 2. They're 14th in the Western Conference. They're 28th in offensive rating, 30th in defensive rating, right? The Knicks are not coming off a loss to Dallas that took a lot out of them, and apparently they weren't able to rebound, yada, yada. You're playing at home. You've won 2. Handle your business. I don't anticipate any problems with this game. I anticipate we're going to start Brunson, Quickly, Grimes, Randle, and Robinson, unless RJ Barrett is back. If RJ Barrett is back, he would start, and Grimes would go back to the shooting guard, RJ Barrett at small forward. For San Antonio, Trey Jones at point guard, at shooting guard, Romeo Langford, at small forward, Jeremy Sohan, at power forward, Keldon Johnson, and at center, Jacob Portal. I hope I got that right. Projected lineup for them. All right. And then I'll check in with the chat. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I should be on the NBK pregame show. So we break down the San Antonio Spurs. And then Thursday morning, I'll be right back here for the morning recap show. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button. Hit the likes on your way out. Thank you for being active in the chat. For those who are going to watch later, please comment, and I will get back to you. It's a little hectic right now, but probably within a few days or whatever, I do go through the comments. Shout out to Ajay. Ron from Still Nick Fans, I appreciate you, my brother. Hope all is well with you and your family. CAA Mafia, Deron Wayne, Paris Duggar, who said we need to go after the Spurs portal and free agency this summer. I appreciate you, Almighty Finesse. I appreciate you. He says that we're going after overrated players. Now I don't know what's been happening in the chat, but are you? I know you're not referring to Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, are you? I don't think those guys are overrated. If you're talking about Tobias Harris, I just feel like Tobias Harris and Randle is a duplication. Can he play the three? Yes. Is he a small forward? I don't think so. Shout out to White Falcon 44, Pudge Nice, Sam Granderson. I appreciate you. Welcome. Pudge Night, JJ, appreciate you. Geraldine, MacGyver. He said SGA and Brown will be worth at least 5 firsts. I don't know about worth it, but they'll ask for it. I don't think Boston would ever trade with the Knicks. If you're going to get Brown, you're going to sign him in free agency, and that means you're going to have to clear cap space to do it. I don't know if I'm giving up 5 firsts for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's playing well. For me, he's a really, really good player. He's a really good player, and he's taken a leap forward this year. But I would want to give up 5 firsts for someone a little bit more proven. But, I'm not going to get on the Knicks if they decide to go after him. I really, really like him. But he hasn't played in the playoffs. 5 firsts is a lot. I would just like to give that up for somebody who's a bit more proven, though he's well on his way. Sherwin, who hopes that Obi is out of the rotation and not Sims, but Sims is only playing 10 minutes. He's not even playing a lot of minutes. Obi was playing about the same as last season, about 17 minutes. Let me see. Ashley Inc. 1, Jerrell, Stafford Don was in the building. Harlem Girl, Quiet Money. I appreciate you, my brother. Just want to make sure. Jay Boogie, appreciate you. Lion of Judah, Ajay. Hopefully I got, hopefully I got everybody. Anyway, I appreciate you all, and I will see you Thursday.
The ball is about to drop, so I need this from the top. Happy New Year! Run! You don't like what the Knicks doing, so what? Your hard D that's paying off. Run! Look how the squad they play together. Run! You see the total our opponent scored. Run! You don't know this is a new team. That new squad. I'm in the march with a dream team. Real low. Even if I ain't told you. I ain't told you? I'm better known as the closer. How many games don't matter, tell them we on the run. At the crib on the road, this I am one. I'm CT with the flow, that mean the Knicks buzzing. A little bit more motion, backdoor cutting. They ain't feeling what we doing, so I'ma spaz on them. I'm like Mitch on the board, I clean the glass on them. I can look at the sheet and see the player hate. I told Ghost I'm different with the player rate. If you ain't playing with our style and what Tom chasing, I take the 9 off the bird, that's for the rotation. Everybody got something to say what Tom doing. All I care about wins and what the run doing. Even if the next game we take a L, this that smell the kids blowing the stairwell. I'm still trying to spin off from Streetwell, then backslide like Michael Jordan and Rockwell. I'm on one, I'm bringing back the blue love. I told Nas my Nick disease and feed the buzz. In February I'm dropping with the new year. 3 capital S's, I'm gone here from this year. I'm gone here from this year. So long here to this year. Shout out to all the podcasts that have been working hard in the year 2022. The Knick Fan TV, the Florence Tears. You gotta have for love of the game. NBK, nothing but Knicks. Dope Soul. Can't forget the Legion. Gamble, that's his squad. The streets is buzzing. CT in Australia. Brazil, we out there too. We doing it all in the nick of time. Cause we some diehard Knicks. You feel that sports vibe? All day, every day. Ron told us we still Knicks. We ain't falling off. All the way to LA with CK2K. We everywhere. And even if we get a couple of scars, they're only nicks and bruises in the morning. Fall up in D's world of hoops. All the way to Chad Sports in Houston. Get it?